Promise I won't. Okay.
All right, so okay, so we're gonna do the area under the curve. We already know integration is area under the curve, but how do you find the region between two curve, area between two curve? So first thing question I'm gonna ask you says, hey, can you find f of x is equal to 2 minus x squared and g of x is equal to x? And I say, can you find the area between those two curves? Now I'm just gonna say area between the curve. Let's just say f of x equal to x squared between 1 to 3. And all you gotta do is integration of x squared between 1 to 3 dx. You should be able to find area under the curve between 1 to 3. But how about f of x equal to 2 minus x squared and g of x equal to x? How do you find area between the two curves? Yes.
You would have to first set them equal to each other and find out where the two lines meet each other. And then you would have to find which one's on top, which one's on bottom. The bottom from the top between
Subtract bottom from the top?
Yeah, the below one. Yeah.
Top minus bottom? Okay, good.
Something like that.
Good. Can you do it?
That's too easy.
That's too easy? Okay.
Just kidding.
I'm sorry.
No.
We're about to speed up.
Dude, I got like 50% on this test.
We're about to speed up.
No speed.
No.
I was trolling. I was trolling.
Challenge accepted.
No.
No challenge.
Our challenge is for you to slow down. Challenge accepted. Okay.
There's two ways to do it. First, you can know the 2 minus x squared graph is.
Yeah.
Or
But if we don't,
if you don't, you kind of pick a value in between. It matters because you might get negative area. So you don't want to get negative area. If you get negative area, that means bad. I mean, of course, you can switch over, but that doesn't mean that you're mathematically correct. What if for the multiple choice, they only give you like 4 different setup, and you gotta set up what's the right one? So then you won't find out a correct setup. So how do you know? You can plug in a value between those intersections and just plug in each one and see which one's higher.
Oh.
This is just area, right? This isn't like
Area. It's not volume yet.
Okay.
Oh, I ate a piece of chicken. What did you eat, bro? What do you mean? What you eat?
Okay, are you guys done? We're moving forward. Emil, we're moving forward. It seems like discussion's like very easy, too easy.
Oh,
Light work.
I just want to know what the answer is.
is fraction is odd over even.
Yeah, it's all, my answer's all. Wait, no, this equals.
It's odd number over even number.
Yeah.
Ain't no way to see.
Huh?
What's odd over even?
The answer.
Oh, yeah. So what do you got?
Stupid, I'm stupid.
Kelly didn't know how to do it.
I'm stupid.
I'm close.
Yeah, I'm also. Oh no.
Yeah.
She,
I think we.
What?
wait, what?
What? What?
You drink?
So you guys didn't make chicken?
All right, so
Wait, no.
then hurry up. You spend more time talking and listening.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not the one talking about food. Chicken.
That's what it's supposed to
Yeah, why are you?
I'm
be. I saw rice and I saw pizza chicken.
Yeah, wait.
And it was mint.
Oh, maybe they're busted.
And I ate a piece of mint leaf chicken.
Minus.
Brenda, stop spreading that germ.
I'm not getting sick.
Oh, no,
You sure you're not gonna get sick?
Elia and
No,
I'm gonna make sure you're.
Min was sick, Ilya was sick, Shelly was sick. I spent like half of my time with the same people.
I'm gonna make sure you're sick. That's my goal. That's my goal by the end of the week. To make sure she gets sick. Mashallah.
Arabic.
Yeah.
Huh?
Arabic. That's Arabic.
Pickle cucumber.
That's what he's asking. Like, mom, just shove it up.
Not tuna, but it's
What'd you get?
vegetarian, so.
Oh, you got 9 over?
Number two is the answer.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you guys got this or no? First, you wanna, for me, like I probably would draw it just because I wanna see what it look like. Okay, I wanna see what it look like. So that's gonna be 2 minus x squared. So it's gonna be like this. If you're good at drawing, it's gonna should look like this, and this look like this part here. Y equal to x, and this is y equal to 2 minus x squared. You can see it from the graph, but I will set equation equal to each other to find out the actual intersections. You might need to use calculator to do that. Depends on if this calculated problem or not a calculated problem. And that's gonna be x squared plus x minus 2 is equal to 0. X plus 2 and x minus 1 equal to 0. So x equal to negative 2, x equal to 1. So it's going to be negative 2 and 1. And then top minus bottom. If you don't know the value, plug in 0, see what happened. 2 minus x squared minus x dx.
I just doubted myself.
Do you know how to take it? I did it. It's not much.
So it'll be negative x cubed over 3 minus x squared over 2 plus 2x between 1 and negative 2. Guys, I cannot talk over you guys. That means I'm going to speed up. 1 to negative 2. So that's going to be negative 1 over 3 minus 1/2 plus 2. And then minus negative 2 to the negative 2 to the third is 8. And that's going to be 8 over 3. Is that right? Minus 4 over 2.
No, because it's time to count.
And negative 2 is going to be negative 4. So these two will combine together. I usually look at a common denominator. That's going to give you what? -3,
Yes.
right? And this is gonna give you positive 3/2. And then 2 plus -4 is 6. So it will be 7.5 minus 3. So that's equal to 4.5, which is equal to 9/2. So you should not get negative. Now, sometimes when I give you like this, AP exam can trick you. AP exams can say, hey, f of x equal to x cubed. F of x equal to x. I want you to find the area between the curve. Area between the curve. You're gonna find out why this question is tricking you.
Oh, that's his question.
Hmm.
Alright.
Hmm. It's like
Yeah, just like that. Wait.
why is this question harder?
Because they will cancel out if you just do it normal.
What? Why are you laughing?
Charlie, you're the one that first got sick. Maybe you give it to him. You're patient 0.
Patient, yeah, patient 0. Guidance.
I just looked at my mom. Yeah.
Good, good. Okay.
Oh, true. True. No, but it shouldn't be like. Wait, why?
Okay.
Why is it like this?
You good?
Shouldn't I go under?
You good?
Because if you put this. Switch it up. Switch it up. You wanted to like validate.
Well, you're not even paying attention.
Good.
Huh?
Yay.
Are you talking to me?
Alright, that's not. No, you're right. You're right. Okay, so it changes it. Okay, it changes it a little bit. So you have to do Kelly.
I'm struggling to get his phone. I don't think that was all.
No, wait.
Two separate. Oh,
Let me see. Bro, oh yeah, you want to see my work?
yeah.
You took my work, I took Oh, you're right.
Okay.
One.
Bracket BA has any short 30.
Okay.
So
Hold on.
I'm gonna graph it for you. Those of you guys need to learn how to graph.
Negative, you put a negative in it's above it. Yeah, because negative one for the fourth is positive and put a negative.
If you know how to graph, it will help a lot. So it will look like this. Actually, hold on. Let me graph it properly.
What?
No.
Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
So this is the first graph. This is the graph for y equal to x.
You know this one time?
Wait, what's your answer?
I got one.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. I think.
Bro. Yeah, bro. It's you. There you go.
Okay, I got the.
What'd you get?
It's 1/2.
X cubed equal to x. X cubed equal to minus x. X squared minus 1. X times x plus 1. X minus 1. Amil?
Whoa.
You said the F word.
That's a no-no, bro.
Can't
Cancel him.
Impeach him now.
Impeach him.
Impeach him.
Okay, so two ways to do it. One is you can do it the 1 to 0, and it's x minus x cubed dx plus -1 to 0 of this x cubed on the top minus x dx. Or the smarter way will be integration between 0 to 1 x minus x cubed dx times 2. Because two regions, same thing. But either way is fine. Why is an emoji up there? So it'll be 2 times 1/2 minus 1/4 minus 0, 0. So that's going to be 1/4 times 2. That's equal to 1/2. So there's two regions. Now, sometimes you do have to do this because they're not necessarily symmetrical. So this case is symmetrical because the easiest case I can come up with is symmetrical, but there are other cases not symmetrical. So now you got to understand the way they calculate the area. For example, the way they calculate area is like this. This is the way calculate area. So you basically are adding each individual slice, and you're adding all from -2 to 1. But in here, you're gonna add from here, but oops, my bad. You're gonna add from here, and then you're gonna add here. They are two different one. Okay. However, can question change? Yes, of course. Can question says g of y is equal to 3 minus y squared. And the f of y is equal to y plus 1. We get it, don't worry. So what does g of y mean?
Nice graph.
I remember explaining it and I turned it over. It's fresh.
Okay, that's the shit.
So just like an x perspective, you can do the calculation like instead of representation like a vertical representation, we can use horizontal representation. Horizontal representation is going to be everything in terms of y, and your upper bound and lower bound is going to be in terms of y as well. and your d is going to be dy because that's a small changing of y. So you had to take account into all the things. Now, instead of top minus bottom, this one's right minus left. Okay, so all this are top minus bottom. So this is the integration of top minus bottom. And this is in terms of dx between a to b. And this is the same thing, a to b of top minus bottom functions, dx. Now in here we got right minus left, dy. Now this is going to be c to d. Now c and d is the in terms of y value, from which y value you start to calculate till which y value end to calculate. Now, if you don't know which one's on the top, again, you can plug in the value, see which one's got a higher value. And you can see which value on top. Oh, on the right, sorry, not on the top. But if you turn your paper the other way, it will be on the top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mr. Ye, wasn't it just like able to replace y with x and then do it normally? Wouldn't it give the exact same thing?
Yes, it is true, but later on when there's volume, then this thing's gonna be different. So learn how to deal with y perspective right now, because later on we had to deal with y perspective in terms of value. What?
Switch it, you have to deal with restriction.
No, it will be exactly the same, because technically you just take something like graph on something like this, graph something like this sideways, and then you turn it straight up.
The vertical thickness, so it won't be half. Right? Because like when you make it inverse, when you do vertical.
You're not making inverse, you just completely switch in x and y's. So you're technically take the graph this way and just tilt it straight up. So technically you can get the same answer. They just, there's a shortcut to get the right answer without causing too much trouble. But I want you to be able to do it in terms of y, because I understand the y perspective is very valuable. And I'm gonna actually tell you in terms of x, it's not able to solve. So we're gonna talk about that problem. So we know it's right minus left, but let's graph this thing. And if you guys don't know how to graph this, it's just a parabola is sideways. It's not opening up and down, it's opening. So it's gonna be 3 unit up. So 1, 2, 3. So this is gonna be this way. This is gonna be right this is a 1, this is a -1. So the parabola is gonna go, hold on a second. It's gonna go, it's gonna be like this way. Now x equal to, how do I graph x equal to y plus 1? Well, if you don't know, just graph y equal to x minus 1. That should be good enough. So I'm going to draw this. So here is -2 to 1. So we know we're integrating. This is not a to b. This is d to c.
Wouldn't it be the other way?
C to D.
What?
You mean the graph?
The graph, it should be, yeah,
The graph would be like negative.
pointing down, negative stuff.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because if you graph the y plus 1, it would be like, what you drew inverted.
No, my graph's right.
I thought,
Just graph y plus 1 on each.
wouldn't it just be like that?
Yeah, 'cause if you put the
Mr. Ye,
Oh,
tilt,
yeah, yeah,
tilt
yeah.
your head sideways.
Yeah, wouldn't it be?
Tilt your head sideways.
Which sideways? Bro, right.
Brother.
No, my way is right.
Bro,
No, it's not.
It is. Just think about it. If I move the 1 to the other side and just graph y equal to x minus 1, would it be here? And the positive x, positive slope, it represents same thing, so I don't have to think extra. What?
Wait, shit, you are right.
Yeah, he is.
He is right.
I'm a,
We're wrong.
I'm a weirdo.
Wait, what?
What?
Oh, how though? I thought you said you just like look right and then scrap.
No, no, dude. It's the I forgot. It's a reflection across the
The y equals x line.
the horizontal. Yeah, the axis.
I know I'm right.
He's right, dude. He's so right.
Inverse, you reflect across y equals x.
So now the way, so let's figure out before, why before it doesn't work, right? If it's top minus bottom, the problem is top minus bottom, they are the same function. I hear it's gonna be completely cancel out because they are same function. That's gonna, in this part, you're not gonna get this area because it's gonna be the same function. Top minus bottom is the same exact function. Now you can actually do it with top minus negative bottom. You can get this, but this work is a lot. You had to break up two separate integrals to do top minus bottom, which is a lot of work. First of all, you have to solve every equation in terms of x, and then you're gonna do top minus bottom. I hear you're gonna do this first, and then this, and then do this, which is, that's a lot of work. You have to break up to two separate fractions. Now, if you do it in terms of y, it's gonna be like this, which is nice, because all you gotta do is one stroke all the way down to here, and you stop right here. Why is funny? Okay. So I calculate area, accumulated area from the -2 all the way to 1, but do it in terms of right minus left. Then I calculate everything. So in terms of this, it's going to be -2 to 1. Why? Because this is the y boundaries. And the top part is going to be 3 minus y squared. And minus y plus 1 and dy. I'm not going to go through the calculation, but you should get the answer of 9/2 again. But I'm assuming you know how to take integral.
But if it's like x equals y plus 1, it's fucking x0 and y. It's y 0.
You're not trying to.
No.
It's reflection across the.
1 and 0.
Yes.
It's harder to think the graph x equal to y plus 1. It's kind of hard to think about it. So I just think about, instead of that, I can go with the natural way to do it. Just y equal to mx plus b. Just move the 1 to the other side. So it'll be 1, y equal to x minus 1. So that means y-intercept is at -1, slope is positive 1. And that would be easier way to think about it. For me, I cannot twist my brain like that. I'm not, I don't have that. Huh?
If you plug y equals 0,
Positive slope.
you should get like x equals 1, but we have x equals 0.
Okay.
No, it's right here. This, you are right. This point is x equal to 1, y equal to 0.
Of what?
You flip it. So what he did, reflected across.
And they just work separately for
So you grab
yes,
at
for
x plus
functions
1, and then you reflect it.
The circle is y
and linear
Yeah.
functions.
and this
It's-
x.
Yeah, because it's even, you don't have to.
What's the zero history of the first graph of the problems on the x-axis? What's the zero?
Okay.
0?
I don't know,
Yeah.
What do you mean 0?
The zero on the graph.
Wait.
What point is that at?
1, 0.
So y equals 0.
Yeah.
No, on the problem.
On problem, what?
Y equals 0, so the x.
The problem.
What?
What is the, what x value is it on?
What x value is 3?
3, okay.
No, you have to turn it and flip it.
Y x.
You said
Oh, because this is the
No.
Yeah, it's the
Y
same
equals
thing.
x equals 1.
But if you rotate that and flip it,
This is y.
you get a, yeah,
It would originally
Y
be,
equals.
would be.
if you rotate just for that one. Yeah.
This is y.
So then I should.
Y equals.
Yeah.
No, I cannot think the other way, so I just much easier just graph in terms of y equal to mx plus b, because I'm gonna debate with you guys all day long, and I don't feel like doing that.
It's a different type of. I want to think of it.
Yeah, it just sounds right in my head that the line would go down.
Yeah, but that is gonna be negative though.
Yeah,
because it's not you're thinking about slope in terms of y, so that would be negative slope.
Yeah, and also, yeah, you're right. And then also you have like -2 as the extra. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait. Oh.
What?
Guys, we're in calculus.
Really testing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Mine's are being blown.
Kelly, let him be.
I'm not why. Oh.
It's okay. You do whatever you want.
Sound like a freaking kid.
Kidding you? Do you like that feeling?
Am I being pitied for chewing the pencil cap?
No.
Pen cap?
You chew whatever you want.
You.
That's
It's such an instinct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah, just don't like chew it and touch other people.
I'm not touching it. I'm only touching.
Yeah, and you do you.
You can.
Whatever you want to do, you can chew, Marco.
Yo.
Do I have a what? Did I have an
What happened?
island in middle school? What's that mean?
What's Samir doing? He's like yo, and then he's like left. All right, I'm gonna go further. I can't stop like this.
Did I have an island?
I'm gonna go further. Okay, so is that okay if in terms of y? Yulia, if you have really had problem, just solve for y and just graph it that way. You're not gonna have problem if you do that.
Just pretend it's X.
Yeah, just pretend y equal to mx plus 3, and you have a hard time to graph that. Because it's really hard to think about in terms of y perspective on a line. It's much easier to think of like y square. Y square is going to be faced this way, and x square is facing this way. But in terms of a line, it's really hard to think about x equal to 2y minus 1. That's like really hard to think about visually how is that going to go. So don't worry about it. Solve for y, graph it a straight line. You're still going to get the same graph anyway. It's just yeah.
What?
Nothing. All right. All right. So let's calculate the volume of football. So let me see that football again. I'm gonna catch it. No, I'm not. I can catch with one eye. Okay, so the volume of this football is actually, there is no geometric formula for volume of the football, right? So what happened is, if we cut it in the correct section, not just say if I cut it this way and I cut it this way, and I just have this small curve from here to here. Okay, so what kind of graph that you can think of?
It's what like.
Square root of x.
Square root of x, and then we just do this. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this graph and rotate it into a certain direction. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come up with something that looks like that, look like this, just like a curve. From here, that's 0, 0, all the way to 2, 0. It has slight curve here, and we're gonna rotate in this direction like this, and that's called rotation. Now this rotation is basically cut off from right here, and just rotate in and out. And then when you rotate, now if you look at if you imagine your eye level is right here, that eye is looking at this direction, it's kind of creepy.
Wait, what?
That's my eye. Okay, so imagine that your eye is looking at this, but for you guys gonna look like this, but it's, if you rotate this curve, it's gonna rotate around, it's gonna form this football shape, half of the football shape. Is that okay?
Yes.
It's gonna rotate inside the board and outside the board and come out. And that's gonna be like that. But if you look it from this side, as far as half a football goes, what do you see? What kind of shape do you see? A circle. So that's called a disc. So it's called disc method. A disc method is formed by this method is formed by a pi r square. And you're like, okay, what is pi r square? Well, pi r square. Now, if you think about it, this has different type of radius. If I'm going inner a little bit, I'm gonna have a different radius here. I'm gonna have a smaller radius here, but it's constantly changing. And if I can do integral, then they can add each disk. Because in this side, you see one disk, right? You see two disks, you see three disks, but there was an infinite amount of disks, has different radius. And that radius is based by the functions, which is square root of x. So in terms of this method, it's going to be a to b, the r squared, dx, and pi. Or in terms of y, it's going to be a to, c to d, because different type of boundary. R squared, dy, and pi. So they can be rotate different ways. So right now, the easiest way to think about is rotate in terms of x-axis. If you rotate that, it's going to give you a disk. And so let's try to calculate this value of this half a football, right? So half football, basically, I can say this was pi between 0 to 4, because we stop at 4 here. And then we can say square root x squared, because square root x is a function, is a radius from here to here. And then dx. So we can find out the value of this. And then pi times 0 to 4 x dx, which is x squared over 2 between 4 to 0, pi. Pi is equal to 8. So that's equal to 8 pi minus 0. So that's a half a football. It's not a full football because it doesn't have the other side. But now, if you can actually model this, take this data point and plot in all different type of data point, we can measure these things in perspective in inches. So we can actually calculate the volume in terms of inch cube. But you have to find this data point from here to here and do a regression on it. Regression is take all the data and to simulate as an equation. And once you do that, you can rotate them and you can find a value in this football. I don't know, anybody take AB stats last year? You taking right now with Cooper?
We do that.
I think he didn't like any of my kids.
We did that in physics too. The regression thing.
Yeah. We had to do that in pre-calc now. What? No, Cooper doesn't like my kids. I think Paige and Maria, they told me that. And because he doesn't like me, probably. I have ups.
What, Mr. Cooper? Mr. Cooper's your up?
He's not my ups. I don't dislike him. He dislikes me. I disagree with him, but I don't dislike him.
Disagree
Huh?
Disagree about it.
About double block. I disagree with double block.
Sugar, but no sweet.
Oh, okay. What happened yesterday?
But again, don't take the soundbite and record the show.
Like
Yeah.
4 days ago. The whole point is
Yeah, it's okay. I didn't say anything bad about him. I don't dislike the guy. He probably doesn't like me. I try to be nice.
Are you sure you threw a basketball at that kid's head?
Oh.
What?
Basketball.
I didn't do that.
Oh.
Oh, now you're denying it.
You're my man. Free hate till it's backwards.
It's okay. By the time I get fired, you guys already graduate.
You better stay. Then.
Yeah, that's I'm saying like,
We have siblings, dude.
Huh?
You're the only person in this room with a sibling who goes to school.
Actually, I have a lot of siblings coming. But I don't think your sister like math though.
I hope she takes Cal. I don't think she wants to.
Yeah, I don't think she. The last time I talked to her, she was in my room before, right?
She's decent at pre-cal. Like, I've helped her out before, and she like just kind of gets stuff. You know.
No.
Okay, what's the difference between washer?
you wash your
There's a hole.
There's a hole. Okay. So Monday, do we have enough time to finish
No,
washer?
you actually, you literally have 1 minute.
All right, fine.
You tell me it's 2 minutes ago, like, haven't you accepted?
30 seconds? Yes, let's go.
Let's go, go.
Thank you.
You guys have test Thursday, by the way.
Oh, what? He's not gonna be here, right?
Okay.
Next Thursday?
Huh? Yeah, but I cannot give it back. Try. I don't know. Maybe some people haven't graded it. Finished grading.
I don't know. When I say I don't know, it means I'll decide 2 minutes before. Yeah, so when the tickets are sold up, they will have to show them.
No.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah, you need to learn how to do it.
You don't think so either, right? I think a lot of people go and not one. Oh, that's fine.
Well, yours happened to haven't graded yet.
Wait, I'm sorry, can you-
One of those 3 people.
The unknown.
I know. I think